I haven't done a top 10 list for a couple of weeks for a number of reasons. Obviously, we have horses separated now by a border. I had asked Jimmy for a top 10 list yesterday, and actually, I'll give you that top 10 list in a moment. I had asked Jimmy Gillespie, who had been going with some horses with Johnny, going with some horses with Harry, so he had a perspective of both sides. Where Johnny had, I was so impressed and happy with Johnny's rundown of the horses and how they went the other day, and how some of the horses I had some concerns about are training so much better now. One that pops out in my mind was Blue Bayou Dio. Johnny said she was incredible the other day and looked great. And Miss Mildred, who we all knew had talent. You could tell she was fast, but the last time we had videoed her, she made a break, right? I think actually maybe the last two times, which she's got a nice gait. I was a little surprised she made a break, so I was interested to see how she took the Mohawk. Johnny said she was very, very, very strong. He had trouble pulling her up, he said, in fact. So I tried to integrate all the information I got from Johnny, from Harry, from Jimmy, from Mario, into my top 10 list, and then take a look at the horses I saw here. Now, I might have actually loaded my top 10 list up a little bit with horses from Ontario simply because what I was hearing was impressive. What I was seeing here was also very impressive, but let me look and see what I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I guess it's a pretty good split. So I'm going to give you who I believe is top 10 overall right now. This list was 25, 26, 27 horses deep. But 10 is 10. I had to cut it off at 10. So I'm going to start with number 10, Arches Rainbow. This is a filly that I think we all saw had lots of talent, much like a couple of the other ones, had made a couple of breaks here and there. I was very interested to see how she'd go. Johnny said she was very, very strong this week. And also, there's a number of these horses that could have been on this list, but it had to come down to consistency also. Horses that have made the list many, many times before are much more likely to be on my top 10 list than a horse like Blue Bayou Dio, who just jumped up. I knew she could because she had so much speed, but just jumped up and was so good at Mohawk. Did not make the top 10 list. O'More Diener had been off it three times, so he didn't make the top 10 list, although I believe probably went the fastest mile of any of the 2-year-olds in Ontario by himself the other day. So number 10, Arches Rainbow, because she's been on the list many times before. You can see she's powerful. You can see she's strong. She's starting to put it all together. So yes, I'm going to drop her in at number 10. Number 9. Let me turn this down here. That's better. Number 9, Prairie Fire. Prairie Fire has always kind of slid under the radar. You know, you can tell, geez, he's a nice horse. He's got a nice gait. She can trot a little bit, but how fast is he? How strong is he? I put Isa 10 on the front the other day. Prairie Fire was in behind me. We went a mile in 2.7, 2.6 and a bit. Last half in a minute, last quarter in 29 seconds. And he was coming to me at the wire. Very, very good mile from him. And then we went and trained yesterday, and he looked great doing it. Travis loves this horse and gets along well with him. So number 9, easily for me, Prairie Fire. I guess I could have talked about the horses that didn't make the list first. I probably should. Maybe a little, back it up just a couple of seconds. O'More Diener didn't make the list, as I said. Hadn't been on it, couldn't drop him on it. Blue Bayou Dio, same type of thing. Garden State Dio, great reports, but I have to go with the 10 I can see, and the 10 that makes sense to me. And Garden State Dio maybe just off the green on the fringe of the top 10. A horse that I can tell you right now could have made it, has looked great. Now, Justin Irvine has gone with Hill of Magic twice now. I just picked him off. Well, I didn't just pick him off. I beat him with 3-point blue chip, her with 3-point blue chip the other day, but she was very strong. No hobbles on. Then we threw the belly band hobbles on her the other day. Justin said night and day different. Man, she was really, really good. Very impressed with Hill of Magic, but she did not make the list this week of Tom. You guys know how much I love this filly. Billy went with her. She made a break leaving the gate. I went with her yesterday. I thought she was good, but again, didn't make the top 10 list this week. Very rare for her. She's been on an awful long time, and this isn't her sliding. She just is transitioning into the, you know, she's a bigger, taller filly. This is the tallest, lankiest, longest horse that we have in 2021, and putting the proper amount of muscle on that frame to sprint, to do things that these other horses that have a little more compact body type, it isn't easy to do. So she's going to get that. You know, horses are going to sprint away from her sometimes, but will work hard on putting, I guess, what you call fast twitch muscle, putting that muscle in places she needs to be a little quicker on her feet over the next 4 or 5 weeks heading into the summer. So she's in a little bit of a transitional period right now. Didn't make the top 10 this week. Resolute Bay, Johnny told me, was unbelievably good the other day. 2.8, 2.9. One is set very, very handily, very easily. Didn't make the list simply because of the consistency when you see who's on this list. And then a horse, I was a little embarrassed I didn't put 2 horses on, right? World for 2, won a mile in 2.6 the other day and was fantastic and has been great. And Unbeatable Kemp also has been great. But when I looked at my top 10 list, I just had a real tough time. These are horses that right now, especially right now today, look fantastic. So we started with Arches Rainbow. I think this filly, you could have swapped her out, I suppose, with a Mordina or Hill of Magic, Resolute Bay, anybody. But this is a filly that I think is a big, powerful, strong filly. The fact that Johnny thought she was much better this week was great. Number 10. Number 9, as I said, Prairie Fire. This horse deserved to be on this list. He just worked so hard the last month and looked great today, yesterday, Wednesday. He needed to be on this list also. Number 9, Prairie Fire. Number 8 is a horse that I think you're going to start see climbing the list. The fastest 2-year-old so far in our grouping. All 47 horses, the one that has gone the fastest so far has been Sweet on Pete. Who would have thought that? We had a client at the barn the other day, owns Sharon Sweet and Pete, and he says, I just don't know if she's going to, she's so big and muscular, I don't know if she's going to get around a half. I said, sir, she won a mile in 2.5 the other day. I didn't have a watch on her. Billy said 2.5. He might have went faster, but she looked extremely good. I said, I don't think you're going to have any troubles with Sweet on Pete. She wears vet wrap behind. That's it. A set of knee boots. I don't even know if we had knee boots on. I think we did. Knee boots, vet wrap behind, head pole, Murphy blind on the left, trotting hobbles. Absolute beast the other day. Number 8, you're going to see this filly climb the list from here till the time we qualify them in another 3.5 weeks. Hard to believe, isn't it? You're going to see Sweet on Pete climb this list quite a bit. Number 7, Mischievous Rose, Johnny said was great again. Got her to Mohawk, bigger track, a lot more comfortable. She was awesome. Not surprising. This filly's been a beast for quite a while. When I hear people like Johnny, Jimmy, James say that they believe this is our best Ontario bred, that says a lot. Mario's got some nice horses there. Harry has some nice horses at the other end, and Johnny in the top barn. To hear them say that they believe this could be the best one in Ontario was impressive, and I believe she was impressive again this week. Number 6, Bomb Hugger. So you're going to see her slide around also. She's going to start climbing up a little bit more. She was awesome the other day. We're going to start letting her hobbles out now. She a lot more confidence. Probably take those bell boots off of her. She looks good now. Very, very happy with Bomb Hugger. Probably another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you'll see her probably qualify first week of June, second week of June. I'm going to say 2-1, 2-2, no problem at Northfield Park. She looks very, very good. Number 5, Rose Above It. Now, mentally, he's slowly learning. I see him. I can jog him on the main track with just an open happy bridle on. For those of you that aren't horsemen, a happy bridle is just an open bridle, no head check. Then also, we didn't have a tongue tie or snake cord or anything on him. He can get a little rowdy, but once you get him to relax and settle, he's fine. He's much like that in a training set. The other day, we didn't have a hood on him. We didn't have anything on him, just a closed bridle on him. I think we're going to switch him. Oh, I need to go pick that. I think we're going to switch him to an open bridle to train this week. I don't know how he'll be. Drone day. Well, it's not the drone. Recording day here in Northfield on Wednesday. We'll get to that in a minute also. I think we're going to go with an open bridle with Rose Above It. He was a bully the other day. 2.5 and a bit, last half in a minute. Beat Voyage of Ice and Fire, but I sat third, come first over, just let him grind up alongside him. I couldn't catch him down the lane, and he was very, very strong. Scoped him after, had some pimples and stuff, typical stuff. We went and bought some herbal crap from the tack shop to put him on, but he was very, very strong. Very, very strong, this colt the other day. And it's not that, I guess to put it fairly, maybe I could have backed him up a little bit because mentally he's still got to get there. These horses that have made this top 10 list are there. They get it. They understand it. They figured out what their job is and how to do it very well. I wouldn't say confidently that Rose Above It mentally has put it all together yet, but he's still got 4 or 5 weeks. And horses like him that really want to be bullies all the time, is they start to get those miles in 2 minutes, 2-1, or even faster into them, then you start to see them start to understand how to maneuver and how to do their work. He's certainly not the first horse, and we've had many fast horses. Keep in mind, White Tiger, Cruising in Style, Lawmaker all wore snake cords until they were 3. Cruising in Style may still wear one, I don't know, but this isn't the first time. Bulliness can result in speed also. They have to figure it out at some point. Rose Above It is, again, another horse transitioning into that mental acuity. He needs to be an effective racehorse. Number 4. Where are you at, number 4? Number 4, Almost There, Boss. I was so happy getting it. It's hard to get information out of Harry. Harry, how'd they train? Good. How were they? Not bad. Yep, good. Nothing really too exciting. Harry always plays his cards pretty close to his chest. And Jimmy put this horse at number 1. And Jimmy would have went with him the other day. So for Jimmy to say Almost There, Boss is number 1 was impressive to me. I could have put him up a little higher than 4 because I know how powerful this colt is. As he starts to put it all together, this could be a really, really nice horse for us. He's got the breeding. He's not stupid. He's got the intelligence. He's got the power and the speed also. All the tools are there, for the making of a good horse. Now it's going to be up to him over the next little while. But I was so impressed to hear Jimmy say number 1, Almost There, Boss. So happy with that. I guess I kind of ruined Jimmy's list up front. But Almost There, Boss, number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list, Eyes of 10. She won her set the other day, 2-6. She was extremely bully. We took the snake cord off her. Lawmaker, her brother, wore one his whole 2-year-old season. They just want to get at it, right? They want to fight. They want to compete. We're going to put something back in her mouth. She needs to compete a little less when you need her to relax. But she was very strong the other day. Very impressed with this filly. She's doing everything right and doing it the right way. So, Eyes of 10. Can't wait to get racing her this summer. Number 2, Miss Mildred. I'm always, you guys can see, I'm always gravitating towards trotters for the most part. These pacers have to go so darn fast now. It's hard to get really excited about a flashy pacer. We've had them, right? You go back to the colt that got hurt at 3. How good Sunshine's Finest, how good he looked at 2. And the list could go on and on of horses we thought were, even last year, right? No Free Lunch, winning 51-3. It was a grassroots horse for the most part. So I try not to get too pumped up about fast pacers because they're gonna have to go fast. This filly is fast, and I was a little concerned about the brakes. I wanted to have a look at her, and then Johnny messaged me after the training the other day. He said this filly was flying. He said I sat third. She was quiet. I moved her over and blew right by them. He said, and I had trouble pulling her up afterwards. So that's impressive. I'm excited about that. We got some exciting looking pacers here. As I said, I gravitate away from pacers. Number 4, Almost There, Boss. Number 2, Miss Mildred. Is that the only one? Yeah, they're the only ones. But a number of other horses that have been doing their work rather well. I had to put Miss Mildred here. From what I could tell, from what I could see, how flashy she is, how strong she is, and then hearing Johnny talk about her the other day, yeah, I'm happy to put her at number 2. And number 1 is up in the air. It could go to a number of horses, but Voyage of Ice and Fire, he didn't even win a set the other day, but he was so impressive and getting so big and strong now that I really feel this is our best trotter. As it's May, 15th, 16th, 2021. We have a lot of really, really good horses. And then I guess to me, in my mind, how did my mind work? He's got a brother that made $750,000. He's got 3 families of horses that made money. He's a stud, yet he's quiet. He's quiet on the track. When you put him in gear, he wants to attack. He doesn't get that crazy freak, rambunctious speed to him. It's more of a surgical, methodical move. Now, he got beat fair and square by Rose Above It the other day. I came first over with him. Now, if I come guns a-blazing in the last turn, I think maybe I get him. Travis thinks I wouldn't have, which is good to hear about Rose Above It. Won PA versus Ohio also. So, but when I look at the total picture of what we're looking to do, how we're looking to do it, what horses, what historically what it took to be successful. When you're looking at globetrotting here in Ohio, cruising in style in New York, lawmaker in Pennsylvania. The one thing that we don't talk about enough is other people's horses, right? We can talk about ours and how happy we are. It means nothing if we go out and there's 8 trotting colts that can trot in 57 right out of the gate in Ohio, then we're going to have a bunch of Buckeye horses maybe. I think that Voyage of Ice and Fire has got the talent to be that kind of, to be a good horse in Ohio. We have a number of horses here in Ohio, and I'll go through them in the 2-year-old list. What I might do is actually grade the horses today also, heading into June, getting a better picture of what people have said about them and how they looked. Because Voyage of Ice and Fire, Eyes of 10, Hill of Magic, and I told you Sweet on Pete is also there, right? What other fillies do we have? Just so many good horses here in Ohio that it's an exciting time of year for me. I'm very excited, very happy to get these horses going. These horses are going to easily go. We're going to keep them in 2-6 on Wednesday. I don't want them going any more than that. We'll cut them loose next week maybe, 2-3, 2-2. And then I don't think it would be unrealistic to see a horse like Voyage of Ice and Fire qualify around the 10th of June in 58, 59. 2 minutes, 2-1, something like that. These horses can go. They're here now. They're fast now. So I'm going to give you a little rundown again. We talked about a number of horses that didn't make the list. Number 10, Arches Rainbow. Number 9, Prairie Fire. Number 8, Sweet on Pete. Number 7, Mischievous Rose. Number 6, Bomb Hugger. Number 5, Rose Above It. Number 4, Almost There, Boss. Number 3, Eyes of 10. Number 2 is our girl, Miss Mildred. Number 1, Voyage of Ice and Fire. That's my top 10 list. I also have a top 10 list from Jimmy Gillespie. I'm going to try and get one from Johnny. Maybe talk Travis into one. Now, Travis only seen the Ohio horses, but that's okay. Jimmy's list is all Ontario, so it's not the end of the world. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to run through Jimmy's top 10 list from Ontario in just a minute.